Good evening, everyone. Welcome to OSA Friday for Females. I'm here with Linda, who's going to discuss her business and what she does. Thank you, Linda, for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's get right into it. For those of you who are watching, you can ask your questions, but we'll answer afterwards, okay? So Linda, how did your journey, it's very unique. How did you end up with selling jewelry?
Well, it's kind of a journey. So I started out in technical sales, and then I went and got my master's degree and taught mathematics for a little bit. And when we moved to Maryland, everyththing was a little different. And I thought, I had a 3-week-old baby. And I thought, how am I going to? Our middle child was 3 weeks old, and we had just moved. I knew a couple people in the state, and I really needed to pay off my master's degree. So I thought, well, let me try doing this jewelry because I can work nights and weekends while my husband is during the day. And at the time, he was traveling a ton. So we didn't have any family in the state. So I couldn't really call them if I had to be somewhere. And with this business, kids are flexible. You can take them with you if you have to. So that's kind of how, in a nutshell, that's how I started in the industry. And that was 14 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a couple of babies during that, and it kind of worked out that I was able to really, mold the business around the way that I wanted to work with my family.
Yeah, well, I think it's hilarious that you started off with mathematics and then you come right to jewelry. It's like polar opposites. Like mathematics and jewelry have like no correlation at all.
We're actually, I always say that math is in everything.
It is.
Because it kind of is, right? Like when
Yeah.
you're wearing a necklace, you want the right length based on your necklines and your body style. So there's some science and mathematics in there too. Just not like, it's not calculus.
No. But it has like you have to deal with symmetry and geometry and making sure like angles are right and like it's equal on both sides. So that's still cool though.
Yeah.
Now, on a side note, you also have like this side of you where you did martial arts, and I would like to know how you got into that, and what would you like to tell all the moms who are hesitant to start, because martial arts is not like big for a lot of women and females. So, how did you jump into there?
Well, the first time I started it was 14 years ago because I just wanted to be able to protect myself, or think that I could, and, just learn some really good techniques, like defense techniques. And, I got pregnant, so I stopped that. But then I found, my children were like 7 and 9, maybe 9, yeah, about 7 and 9. And they were interested in martial arts. So I was excited because the dojo that we were looking at had classes where you could go with your children. And you trained with adults, but you could still be there together. And I thought, well, that's awesome. And anyway, we trained for 4 years. And we did earn our black belt just this May. So
Congrats.
we're COVID black belters. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But you know what I loved? I loved the journey, and it was really good for the kids, but also for me in so many ways. Like I feel like if you're a mom or a female and even thining about it, just do it.
Yeah.
Because you can always, try it for a couple months, try it for a year. Like like we really need like a year to just try it and see what you think. But oh, it's great for kids for self-control and respect and focus. And I really liked the part and for we did Budo Taijutsu, so it was more self-defense. So there was no competition. It was more individual growth. And I really liked that for all of us. And I really could use the focus too. So it was really a wonderful thing.
Well, considering like how like you do so much, like it's probably a great outlet for you, you know, and I like how you stated that you got to do it with your kids because then it allows for you guys to be a role model to your kids to say, "Hey, look, I'm dedicated to something."
Right.
And you can be dedicated to it as well. And then within that atmosphere, you guys get to show respect to one another and learn that it's a mutual respect because that's intrinsic to martial arts. Um,
Exactly.
so that's so cool, and congrats on that black belt. I mean, I know just from experience that it's a beautiful journey, and now you're on to another journey. So I'm excited for you, and the next level of the black belt journey. So
Yeah,
congrats.
it's exciting. Yeah, and I also liked the long-term goal. Like I felt like, I don't there's so much like instant gratification that people expect now that I
Mhm.
want my kids to realize that that's not real life.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
like, let's set some goals, and this was perfect for that.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you found something like that.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Now, XMstyle, like, how'd you create that name and what is it exactly?
So it really stands for extreme style.
Mm.
And it was just a good URL. And I thought it was a fun name. Um, and, it's really kind of a brand. So I do Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski. That's the jewelry brand that I represent. So I'm a consultant for that. And so within Extreme Style, I can use the style techniques that I've been using even before I started with Touchstone. For example, like I always say that it's really there to help small business owners because I have a team of girls,
Yeah.
well, women, right? And I have a team that, like a lot of them have never owned a business before, their own
Yeah.
business. So it's a really, it was kind of a way for me to help them with different things. And then it kind of blew up because I had like, it's kind of geared towards women, but I write a lot of these elevator pitches, which I know we'll talk about later. Like half of them are men. So, it's just the whole premise of the site is to help women be successful in their business.
And I think that's so cool that that not just beyond like your own business, like you're trying to also use what you do to empower others and other females. And and I think that's really important because a lot of times people are hesitant already to start their own business, but I think females, it's like another step. It's like, can I really do it? Do I have the time to do it? And for you to just be like, hey, it's okay, I was a mom, I was pregnant, and I'm doing it and I'm successful, you can do it too. That's great to hear that that's something that you're doing to empower others. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, thank you.
You.
um, how do you help business owners get noticed? Like, explain your ABCs.
So, if you think ABC, we talk about appearance, branding, and communication. So, appearance, like you can walk, I mean, have you ever been somewhere and you've walked into a room or someone else has walked into a room and you just look at that person, you think, oh, I need to talk to them,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
have, because we all
Yeah.
have, like
Yeah.
I have. And, they have said nothing, you know, who knows what they really are like, but they've said nothing. But that's the first part of networking and building your business, right? Because you want to be able to communicate with people. So your appearance really, says a lot about you. And it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to be dressed to the nines. Like that's not what I'm talking about. It's
Mhm.
you're dressing to your body type, to your personality, and to your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and I like that you commented on the fact that you don't have to dress up like all out there, it's just you dress up to your own comfort, and if you do that, then you will shine, and then people will recognize that. So,
Exactly.
and
And then
then
the key part of it is branding. So, a lot of people talk about, if you're a business owner, we talk about personal branding, right? Branding is not just a logo, right? It's
yeah.
a lot more than that. It's how you're representing yourself online, in person. And, that's part of that personal branding. And then C is communication. So how are you communicating with people, and what do you sound like, and what's your message? So like whether you're at a networking event, a conference, online, doing lives, or doing, interviews like this, it's kind of like encompasses all of that.
Yeah. So it's everything in one, basically.
Exactly.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's I like that. That's pretty cool because they all feed off of each other. And so it's not like it's one, two, and three. It's the combination of all three that actually help you get to that next step. So,
Exactly.
and if you can understand one of them and put them all together, that's all
Right.
you
And
need.
it's little tidbits here and there, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not, yeah. So
Okay, so here's the elevator pitch. Give us your 2 cents on it.
So honestly, with an elevator pitch, you can have, I've written over 500 pitches for different businesses. And you can have a great pitch, but if you can't deliver it, it's going to go nowhere. Right.
Yeah.
So it's the content has to be great. The delivery has to be great. Like you have to appear confident. Like you
Mhm.
might have the biggest butterflies inside, and that's okay because that's normal, but you have to appear confident. And I always say to people, the best way to master your elevator pitch is to literally say it over and over and over and over. And and look at yourself in a mirror because you want to know kind of what your facial expressions look like too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I used to, like, when I was doing jewelry parties like in person, when I first started, I literally like would listen to this tape. That was when cassette tapes were in the car, right? So I'm
Yeah.
dating myself
I,
here.
it's okay. I had those cassette tapes too, so it's all good.
And you'd stop and rewind and stop
Yeah.
and rewind, but I would listen to them over and over and over. And I would like kind of just say literally the same thing over and over, but I got pretty good at it. Like that I would just, like, you say it without even thinking about it. And that's kind of what you
Mhm.
want your elevator pitch to be, where you just say it without thinking about it.
So it's kind of second nature, but you also want to sound very confident in it. And I guess that also comes out with, do you believe in yourself and in your business enough to be able to give an elevator pitch?
Exactly. Because I think a lot of times, if you've ever been, even like if it's online on a Zoom call or a networking event of any kind, right? So if they say you have, 15 seconds or 30 seconds to give a pitch, like there's always a few that are rambling.
Yeah, like they just go on and they have to ring the buzzer, right?
Right. And it's usually because they really didn't plan it,
Hmm.
and they're just talking to talk, which they
Okay.
think might help them, but it doesn't. Like the more concise you are, the better.
It's kind of like numbers. You want to just give the bottom line. And so that's what your elevator pitch is. It's like, this is the bottom line. Like, this is what I do, and this is why it's great. And
Exactly.
that's basically what you're saying.
Hmm.
So, well, thank you for that 2 cents for the elevator pitch. So, those of you who are watching, you know who to go to have those elevator pitches. So, um, for women who don't like heels and the dressing up, what are your tips for them to still kind of have that feminine side?
So, the millennials have given us a lot of great tips, right? Like it's really popular now to wear cute little pants with sneakers. So you are for anybody that doesn't like to wear heels or dress up, like this is your time.
Yay!
Yay! I mean, and right, especially with COVID, like we only really need to look great from the waist up right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Let's face it, but honestly, like, COVID will end eventually. But if you don't like heels or dressing up, you have to. So if you're a business owner, you have to dress according to your clientele. So like you with, you own a martial arts studio. So you being in a gi all the time is 100% appropriate. Like that,
Hmm.
like you are, representing your business and that's what you do all day long.
Yeah.
Right. And so somebody else, like, I always say, like, if you're like, let's say a real estate agent, you're selling $500,000 homes, like, or more, or even if it's like a couple $100,000 homes, that's a big ticket item.
Yeah.
So you need to step it up a little bit, right? Because if think about your customer, are they going to trust you coming in with holes in your jeans and ratty old sneakers? Probably not.
No.
You're not. So that's kind of, dress to your clients and look good from the waist up.
At least for Zoom.
It's also about your personality too.
Yeah.
Like your personality plays a big part. Like if you're in the creative industry, like you can be funky,
Yeah.
right? It kind of depends on your industry too. If you're a banker, not so much.
No. But
Yeah.
I like the fact that you say play it to your clientele too, because that's a marketing tactic as well, right? Because if the clientele see you in a certain way, then it's like it's automatically marketing yourself. I mean, I know like I'm constantly in my like martial arts attire and like I'll just walk around and I'm like a branding, I'm just walking around with my brand. And I see like all your posts are with your like jewelry and I'm like, she's just constantly promoting, her jewelry. Like, no matter what you're posting, there's like a segment of like either it's the earrings or it's the necklace or it's a bracelet, and I think that's very cool that you're able to, without saying it directly, you're saying it.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool that you've kind of embodied that and are able to do that so naturally. So,
Hmm. Well, it's always nice to, show your personality without saying a word,
yeah. I
right?
mean, it's great. Yeah, because and it kind of goes back to that initial question when you say when you walk in a room and you're like, I need to talk to that person without them even saying anything, you just kind of get that vibe like that's the person, and I think it all interrelates to what we're just talking about right now.
Yeah. And, on another note too, like with clarity, like when you're giving, like, let's say that you give an elevator pitch and you listen to someone who gives like the clarity is great, like they're very concise, they're to the point, and you're like, and maybe they share a little statistic or they share a mini story because you can share mini stories in 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know that I've been to those kind of events before and I've like beelined it over to the person. I'm like, we need to connect because I can help you in this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to collaborate.
Yeah. And that's how So, um, what was one of your most memorable experiences?
I really had to think about this. So I guess one of them was, I think, I'm not even sure the year. So it must have been it had to be 2008. So it was a while ago. I was 7.5 months pregnant and I was asked to speak at our national conference. And of course I said yes. And then I find out I have to talk for 50 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But it wasn't so bad. Like and then like, right. So I had like kind of a speech coach helping me, right? And so at the end, I'm like, oh yeah, and how many people are going to be there? So I spoke in front of 1,000 people,
Wow.
and for almost 50 minutes. And it honestly, like, it was a really, like, I was so nervous that day, but it was easy once I was up there.
Yeah.
So,
And then after that, every next speech was probably like, oh, if I did that, I can do anything.
right? Like, oh, I could speak to 25 women in a room now, no problem.
I mean, your feet must have been exhausted because you were like pregnant and you were
And
probably
it
so
was my,
tired.
yeah, it was my third child. I was
Oh,
enormous,
oh
like
God.
enormous at 7.5 months. I was just like, they're probably like, oh, are you having it tomorrow? I mean, it was
Wow. Like that's great though that you still were able to go out there and speak and for 50 minutes. Wow.
yeah, it was a long time, but yeah, I
You
enjoyed.
le- and you learned too, right? So and
Oh
for
yeah, tons,
so
tons.
that's
Mhm.
always the key, like with those experiences, can you like take something away from it and learn something? Because if you do them and you don't learn, then there's really no point in doing them, right? Like each
Right.
one should give you guidance on how to do future ones or how to guide another person and how to do theirs. So,
Well, here's a little tidbit too. So as I was practicing this, like, she had me write everything out, and then the first time I gave it the speech to her, this is no joke. She told me that I said the same phrase 75 times,
oh my gosh.
right?
Wow.
Well, I didn't even think about it, but then as I listen online to people, it must have been like where I grew up in upstate New York, and another one of my friends did the same thing. And so I was like, well, okay, that's terrible. I need to stop this. And, like, just that alone was such a huge benefit and something that I learned that I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, no
Yeah.
one wants to hear that. They don't want to hear it once, much less 75 times.
Sometimes. Well, now we know a little secret, right? Like
That's
listen
right.
to yourself a couple of times. So,
Important. Hmm.
yeah. Okay, so now the next one. Who was your greatest inspiration?
So I'd have to say my dad. Um, he he was in the same industry for 53 years, but for 43 of them, he owned his own business. And, you know, he never, he gave me some pieces of advice, when I started in sales. He was an insurance agent for 43 years, and he had a partner, he had some partners in his agency. But, I just I learned a lot from that, right? Like, what it takes somewhat as a business owner, because, some years are great, some years aren't. And,
Mhm.
for 43 years, it fluctuated. Um, but not just that, but, just the different, um, just the different things. He always did a lot of personal development, and with insurance, you have to do that, right? Just
Yeah.
keep your certifications and things like that. So yeah, I guess he would probably, yeah. And
That's
he
a
never
sweet
did
one.
retire until he was like 75 years old. Like, he was like the Energizer Bunny. So
Wow. I think a lot of business owners have that capacity to be energizer bunnies because it's like go, 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 and then you have your personal life go, 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 so it's like managing the schedules and keeping that energy, keeping people excited about you, everything. So, yeah.
yeah,
You seem like an energizer bunny yourself too, by the way.
I am. Yeah.
Especially
I
with
don't
3 kids.
I don't sit still much. Like, I sit still to make graphics that you see on Facebook.
And that's it, right? And then beyond that, it's like go, go, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, if someone was to write a book about you, what would the title be?
So I think it would be called Redesigned,
Hmm.
because over the course of my life. I've definitely redesigned the path that I thought I was going to be on, and for the better. I feel like everything has been for the better. So um, I say redesigned.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
I like that. I mean, and it reminds me of not kind of sticking to the same path, because things happen and you have to change and you have to be adaptable, and that kind of is what redesign means to me in my brain. It's like, oh, like, you're adaptable and you move with the flow, so I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
um are there any upcoming events, obviously via Zoom, that you're hosting or that our viewers can help you out by participating with?
So I'm doing one like like I have the 12 days of Christmas going on in my Facebook group if you'd like to be there. But I have an event on January 5th, and it's at 7:30 on Zoom, and it's called Style Magic.
Ooh.
So it's for anybody that is, kind of struggling as to maybe what they should wear, what they want to wear, and it's filled with accessories as well. But it's Style Magic, and it starts at 7:30. It's completely free,
Oh, cool.
and I can I can give you the link, or I can just type the link in here, whatever you want.
Yeah. So we'll just post the link in here so everyone has access to it for those that are interested.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you. Well,
sure.
hopefully you'll get a lot of people to come, and the 12 days of Christmas looks so cool, and the jewelry that you're posting looks just great. So for those of you who haven't been in touch with Linda, please go check her out because she's amazing with her jewelry and any events that she puts on. So, um, what pointers can you give people who are in the beginning phases of starting a business?
Don't quit.
That's
Keep
always the
going.
plan.
Do your, like keep going, because I really feel like as women, there's a lot of negative self-talk.
Mhm.
And if you keep going and, do this, there's like little things that you have to do in your business every day, every single day. And they don't really take a long time, but you have to do them. And I don't mean like filing, I mean like probably contacting customers and reaching out to people like that. And don't quit is the number one. The negative self-talk, like maybe do like the I am, like the affirmations. And the last thing is networking. And networking online is a beautiful thing. There's
Yeah.
different Facebook groups you can do, there's events, there's so many different types of ways that you can network, and you really want to get yourself out there.
Yeah, those are some really good pointers. I really like the don't quit one, because uh, as a business, you're going to have your ups and downs, like you were saying about your dad, and you have to just know when you're jumping into that unknown, like there are going to be unknown factors. I mean, who would have ever known like that there's a COVID, that's going to
Right?
hit us. So, but you still have to be adaptable and innovative and think of unique ways to move around that. And if you have that mentality of like, this is what I'm doing and I'm not quitting, I
Right.
mean, you can be successful. And so, that was something really cool that I liked.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah, thank you. So, thank you for everyone that watched. And Linda, thank you for joining me this evening. I look forward to seeing all the great things you're going to continue to do. And please feel free to share any of those events to the page so other people can participate with you.
Awesome.
Yeah. And everyone else, if you want to be on Friday for females, just send me a message and we'll move forward. Everyone have a great evening and a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.